Happy New Year! Welcome to edsguitarlessons.com. I'm going to do a demo today about the electric guitar. Try to give you some tips if you bought a new electric guitar for your child, for yourself. Just give you some tips and ideas about how to use the electric guitar. It's a little bit different than an acoustic guitar in that it can be quite noisy. You know, just going across the strings, the amplifier amplifies, and it amplifies the sound. So there's a lot of things that you got to kind of look out for. Of course, this is a standard Telecaster style guitar. Okay, that does have 6 strings, just like the acoustic. It's tuned exactly the same way. Okay, so what you've learned on an acoustic guitar translates over to electric. They usually have a volume and a tone knob. Volume to make it louder or softer, and then a tone knob to kind of change the pitch, if you will, from a trebly sounding to a more bassy sound and everything in between. A lot of them will have a slide switch here that'll select your guitar pickups. Okay, so the selector is usually in the back direction. It's usually for the back pickup. Middle means it's playing both, and then forward means it's playing the neck pickup. Okay. On a Stratocaster style guitar, it has a 5-way selector that has different variations from back to the front of combinations, and we'll look into that maybe in another video. This one has 3. It's a 3 selector blade. Okay. Usually the back pickup is more bright sounding, and I think it's because it's near the bridge, and so the tension of the strings is very tight there. Okay, so it gets a very tinty sound. Okay. You'll see as I move it up, that means both pickups are going to work and be active. You can see it kind of really got a little bit more bassier that way. See the difference? And then we'll go straight to the neck pickup, and you'll hear it's even more bassier. Middle, bridge. Okay, so that's an introduction to how guitars basically work. And so you can get different sounds just by rolling back. We call it rolling back, turning back the knob, the volume knob, of course, and the tone knob. You can fool with them and put them wherever you like. Okay, but sometimes it makes a big difference where you have your volume knob. It can really affect a tone. That's full up. Both pickups are being played. I'll roll it back a little bit and you'll see. So it does affect the volume, the loudness, but it can affect the tone on certain particular guitars. Okay, so it really can make a difference. Okay, this happens to be an LTD TE 212 Telecaster guitar. As you can see, it has a humbucker pickup. If you ever see a pickup that looks like this, sometimes the covers are off, but it has basically 2 pickups like this in here, similar to this, underneath this cover. Okay, and they call it a double humbucker. That means it's got double the pickups inside of it, so it's a little bit more louder, more powerful, because they're magnets. They're coils wrapped around, it's a coil wrapped around magnets, and that's how we get the sound out of it. So it's twice as powerful as this style of pickup. On a Tele, it's a single coil. That's what we call that. Single coil, double coil, or double humbucker. They have mini humbuckers. They're a little bit smaller, but it's still two pickups in there. And then they have different types of single coil pickups, noiseless. They have regular Telecaster style. This is a Tele, and they make it so it's really country sounding, because that's what a lot of country and western country pop stars use, is a Telecaster. Have you heard of Brad Paisley? There's a lot of famous Telecaster country artists that use Telecaster style guitars, and they want this real tinty sound that you get out of this particular pickup here. Okay, so that's pretty much basically how electric guitar is laid out. I had a clean setting on the amplifier. So now let's talk a little bit about the amp. I'm not going to point the camera down there. I'm just going to let you know what I'm going to do now is, on most amplifiers, they either have a button or a dial that basically says gain on it. Okay, it could be the second channel, but it has a preamp in it. It amplifies the sound before it goes into the amplifier, and it gives it a rock and roll distorted sound. Okay, and that's called, it's got a high gain, they call it. It's a distortion. So you'll hear it once I get it going. Okay, so right now we're on a clean setting. I'll keep it in the middle here, the middle selector, so both pickups are working. Now I'm going to go to high gain on the amplifier, and you can hear just by pushing a couple of buttons here, and you get a real high gain that's kind of rock and roll sounding, I guess. Sustain for a long time because there's a preamp driving the signal, and then of course the amplifier's amplifying the signal, so it really can get really hot and noisy. That's a high gain sound, okay, that you can get out of the amplifier. Some amps don't have that. The smaller, sometimes inexpensive ones might not have that high gain setting. Anyway, you want to check that out when you're buying an amplifiers. Test them out. Go to the guitar store and test out the amps and equipment before you buy it. Or go online and you can hear demos. I do demos. And so you can check out different amps. This happens to be a Behringer analog modeling amp that I'm playing out of. It has about 5 different positions and switches that you can select to make it sound like different types of amps. It's real common now in amplifiers. So make sure you get a fairly decent small practice amp. You don't need nothing very huge. That should be able to get you started, okay, with electric guitar. you got a new guitar and amp. I hope you enjoy it. And in the next video, I'm going to show you some simple chords that are fun to play with a electric guitar. And some tips, easy ways to hit some chords that really sound pretty good on electric guitar. So anyway, God bless you. Thanks for watching EdsGuitarLessons.com. Happy New Year. Let's pray that the 2014 will be a happy and prosperous time for all of us. God bless you. Thanks for watching.